This season, the New Orleans Pelicans had one of the best turnaround seasons I've seen in a while. They were comfortably the 15th seed in the Western Conference in the start of the year, but they soon slowly progressed to pushing the first seed Phoenix Suns to 6 games and making it to the playoffs as the 8th seed. And this offseason, they really have some big choices to make. I mean, this season was not as expected, and yes, it turned out to be well, but a lot of their key figures didn't a lot of people didn't see them coming, and the people they thought would come wouldn't come. Zion. But overall, it's going to be a really interesting offseason. I mean, they've just had so much success, and can they build off of it? Will they start to embrace this new culture around their new coach Willie Green, or will they just make some bad moves? And we'll see. So before I start, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, as it further motivates me to make more videos like this. So let's get right into it. First, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, and that's Zion Williamson. And there's just so much drama with him just wanting to leave. And then, this season was just so crazy. I mean, that injury was pretty much only supposed to take him out for the first month of the season. Then it went to 2 months, then 3 months, and all the way to January. And before I knew it, Zion was out for the whole season. And even when we saw him doing 360 dunks in warm-ups, he still couldn't play in the game. And I mean, Zion is just, of course, he's a flashy player, and if he can stay healthy, he's amazing, but there's been talks about him wanting to play for a big market like the Knicks or the Lakers, and he doesn't really like the new city, New Orleans, and just everyone in the management. But then now, he's talking about that Zion, he wants to come back, he's willing to sign the extension. But then right after that, the Pelicans said that they're not willing to give Zion the extension because of all of his injury issues, and it's such a confusing process. I mean, just having this generational talent, but he's so good, but he also just can't stay on the court. I mean, we've never seen someone like Zion before, but the injury is just, if he's not going to play, it doesn't mean anything. I mean, Zion averaged like 26, 28 points per game in only his second season. When he stayed healthy, he was an absolute beast. And now with the supporting cast that he has right now, I feel like that they can really go really far. But then having that, I think it's one of those lower body injuries really hurt him a lot. And now there have been reports that he is cleared to play without any restrictions, so that's gonna be so clutch to watch. Hopefully he's gonna be there next season. But his contract, I mean, his contract is up next season. You have players like John Morant, Darius Garland, all expected to get that max extension, but Zion, I personally don't really know if they're going to give him. I mean, he has to really prove himself, and it's probably the most important season of his career. I mean, he needs to show that he can stay healthy, and when he's on the floor, he's going to stay in shape. Maybe he can improve some other aspects of his game, but just being on the court is definitely the first priority for him. And then the Pelicans have really shown that they are still a really good team without him. I mean, they were the 8th seed, they had a really good culture, but Zion, I mean, he's still their franchise player. I mean, they literally moved on from Anthony Davis to get Zion, and I mean, we all know the talent, how good Zion is. I mean, he was an all-star starter in his second season. He put up incredible stats. The efficiency was insane. Point Zion was a real thing, but just not staying on the court, his just unique frame where he is 6'6", 300 pounds, and just having that weight really just causes injuries, and that's going to be definitely a big problem in his career. I mean, if he can stay healthy, we all know how good Zion can be, but that's just the question. Can he stay healthy? And then alongside Zion, you got Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum. CJ is up for an extension. I'm pretty confident that he's going to resign. He wants to be there. He says that he loves his team. He would love to retire here. And CJ, I mean, he was so good after he got traded. With the Blazers, he took more of a secondary role alongside Damian Lillard. But with the Pelicans, I mean, he's been the main ball handler. He averaged 27 points a game in the regular season when after the trade. And CJ, I mean, he's a good three-point shooter. He's a pretty good playmaker. And having him is definitely a big upgrade from someone like Devontae Graham. And they can really build around that. B.I. is also proven to be really good. I mean, he was an all-star last season. Could have been an all-star this year. He averaged about 22 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. And yes, I wouldn't say he was not as efficient as he was when it's All-Star year, but still, I mean, we know how good B.I. can be. He's so smooth, and especially at the end of the year, he really started to heat up. I think he did face some injury problems this year, but just having that solid player that person who can get you a bucket. I mean, in the Sun series, in his first playoff series, he pretty much averaged like I think 26 points a game, something like that. He went off in a lot of the games, and overall, I mean, Bi, CJ, and Zion, if they can all stay healthy and mesh together well, that's definitely such a scary future. Just such a scary young core that really can work. And then you also have some young players like Herbert Jones, Trey Murphy, Jose Alvarado, Kyra Lewis. Herbert Jones, I think, made the all-rookie second team. He's that defensive stud, and especially with his offense improving, his jump shot being at least respectable, he can definitely be a big piece. I mean, one of the reasons why the Pelicans were so good in the second half of the season was inserting Herb Jones in the starting lineup and having that defense. I think his plus-minus was absolutely insane because he's willing to guard the opponent's best player, whether that's LeBron James or Kevin Durant. He's willing to do that, and as a rookie, that's something you can build off of. I mean, I'm pretty sure, an undrafted player. And if he can improve his offense, he's going to be quite a really good role player. Trey Murphy, I mean, he was a good shooter. He had some good moments in the playoffs. And if he can just keep on shooting well, he's going to be big for this team. Jose Alvarado, the fan favorite, of course. We'll see how he would do next year. I mean, I think he's a little bit on the older side, but having him is always going to be good. And then, like, Kyra Lewis, Jackson Hayes, I mean, kind of mysteries. I think Kyra Lewis tore his ACL. But overall, this team has, I mean, a good culture. I mean, good team. I mean, I think Willie Green is a really good coach. Definitely a coach that better fits them than their old coach. I forgot who it was. But, I mean, this offseason is going to be big. Will they keep Zion? What will they do with Zion? I mean, have just that option of should you keep him, but also if you lose him, we know how talented Zion is. It's gonna be a tough situation, but just knowing that you're already a good team is definitely gonna be good. I mean, you still have players like Bi, Jonas Valanciunas, who I haven't even talked about, still a really solid center. CJ McCollum, having these young players that can hopefully develop together. And then if you can throw Zion on this team looks scary. I think like in 2K, if you do like my league simulations or my NBA simulations, they're an absolute beast. And then like this is a good team. I mean, they're young, they have a lot of vets, Jonas Valanciunas, DJ McCollum, but it's just all gonna depend. Will Zion Williamson stay healthy? And if he does stay healthy, does he want to be on this team and really play well? I mean, if he leaves, that's definitely gonna be a big loss. And maybe Zion just is gonna stay healthy. His rest of is not gonna stay healthy for the rest of the career, which I would hate to see. But I mean, the Pelicans had a good season overall. They can definitely build off of this. I'm pretty sure they also have the 10th pick in the draft. That can be definitely, or a top 10 pick. I think it's like 8 from the Lakers. And that's definitely a big piece. I mean, they can take another shooter and defender, maybe like a Benedict Mathurin, a Johnny Davis. And having another one of those guys who can shoot well, do a little bit of ball handling, just have that talent to grow alongside this young team, that can really work out. I mean, this last offseason, they didn't do very good. I mean, they let Alonzo walk. They signed Devontae Graham, who he was alright this season. But it's definitely, of course, a lot less pressure on this Pelicans team to make a big move. But they're going to have to make some small moves that can really impact this team. I'm really interested to see how that will turn out. That being said, that's going to be my thoughts with the Pelicans. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all next time.